everyone. Welcome to today's GQ conversation, Gems in the Gentleman, a part of Vogue and Natural Diamond Council's Diamond Festival, the online edit. I'm Saumyaa, the lifestyle editor at GQ India, and your host for today. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce you to our panelists. We have with us Frank Everett, Senior Vice President of Jewellery at Sotheby's, New York. With a storied past at Bulgari, Tiffany & Co. and Harry Winston, Frank's knowledge and expertise of the design and history of great period jewels have made him a kingpin of his field. We also have with us designers and couturiers Shivan Narresh, whose decade-long relationship with statement jewelry includes designing for Beyoncé and collaborations with Swarovski. Welcome everyone. It's so wonderful to have you here with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us on the platform.
We've got so much to talk about, so I'm just going to get started right away. While the automatic association with jewelry was with women as the wearers, that trope is changing. We see celebrities like Timothée Chalamet, Drake, or Shawn Mendes wearing jewelry and often natural diamonds on the regular. What do you believe is behind its rise in popularity for men? Frank, I'm going to start with you.
Well, I would say throughout history, there have been many periods when men wore as much jewelry as women, sometimes more, and not just royals. So I think if you're just looking in the short term, yes, that may be true. This is a new trend to see men in jewelry. But certainly from the past, I always say, look at art, right? That's the best place to look. Go all the way back to the Renaissance and 17th, certainly the 18th century. Diamonds in particular were coming into fashion then. And there have been periods where jewelry was very, very important in men's fashion. Even into the early 20th century, men may not have been wearing diamond necklaces or earrings, but they were certainly wearing lots of different accessories, cufflinks. They had beautiful jeweled accessories, cigarette cases, things like that. So we do have a long history, I think. Men have a very long history with jewelry, and I love seeing it come back now. So what we're seeing, especially with brooches on men on the red carpet, I hope that this will continue and expand into other areas. It is expanding already.
Do you feel like there is a kind of luxury jewelry that men have always gravitated to more than others?
I do have just a beautiful, simple strand of pearls here. And I really kind of credit Pharrell with bringing back pearls for men, because he started wearing all of those ropes of Chanel chain. I don't know how many years ago that was. It's a while back. And now, I don't know how you guys feel, but here there is a very strong trend for guys wearing pearls. You never know where you're going to see it on the subway, and the most unlikely guy will just have like a casual outfit and sort of a strand of pearls. Maybe not a long strand like this, maybe a short strand. I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico a couple of weeks ago, and I saw a busboy at a restaurant just in his uniform, a black t-shirt and black pants, and he had just a little string of pearls on. This is like amazing to me and fabulous. So I love seeing that, and I really kind of feel like it started with Pharrell and those Chanel necklaces.
I agree. I agree with Frank. I think when it comes to jewelry and men, there's so much over centuries again. I think men have been taught to keep their style really restrained in fashion. So the only way men really end up talking about their personality type is through jewelry, So whether a man is wearing t-shirt and trousers, or he's wearing like a suit, but that's practically what you see a man always in, But the only way that a man can actually distinguish his personality is just by wearing a great ring or a nice brooch, or, something on his neck or a nice watch. And that's essentially how you actually can tell from one man to the other from their choice of jewelry. So that's how important jewelry is becoming to fashion and in the men's wardrobe today. I think more, apart from, of course, showing success and affluence, it's also to do with who am I and what do I stand for? And I think your jewelry, the kind of pieces that you pick to wear really need to define that today, more than ever for the man.
I agree. And you mentioned the brooch, which I'm a big fan of men wearing brooches. I think it's an easy thing for men to do. And quite honestly, fewer women are wearing them, because I think fabrics in contemporary fashion don't support them. This is quite heavy. So even my lightweight jacket might be a little bit too flimsy for this heavy gold and diamond brooch. So I think it almost makes more sense for men to wear them because we spend more time in jackets and suits than ladies do. And most of women's fashion is not substantial enough, the fabric, to support a big brooch. So you have to figure out, wear it in your hair or something.
Absolutely, you're right. I think our lapels can take the weight like the jacket. You're right, absolutely, makes sense.
Yeah, so I might have to keep this one. I do love it.
Shivan Narresh, I think my next question to you as conscious luxury designers is that, I mean, you've put together a range of looks from resort to couture. What do you think are the most interesting ways, like Frank, for example, just brought up, the brooch. What do you think are the most interesting ways that men can wear, like real or natural diamonds?
I mean, honestly, there is literally no definition. I believe I've recently become a jewelry buyer, and I have been wanting to get kurta buttons. Like, kurta is a huge traditional outfit in India, and like you end up wearing lots of different kind of kurtas. And I am looking for kurta buttons in diamond, and it is a task to find them, honestly. I really feel that's what I mentioned in the beginning of the talk, that we are being neglected, and there is a huge scope that jewelers have on their task to meet this demand. Like, where do you find these beautiful kurta buttons? Where do you find these beautiful diamond cufflinks? Where in the world are you looking for some, even if for the matter of fact, smaller pendants, like right now they're a huge rage. I'm unable to get good ones. So yeah, I mean, there is a lot of places I keep hunting. I believe now I'm reaching to a point of designing it and probably making it for myself.
But I think one of the big trends, stacking, is really picking up as a trend with men. Whether you're stacking up a couple of rings on your finger, or even if you're stacking more than one, you're layering, which is another trend. You're layering more than one chain for your neck, and I think you're really seeing that whether in a contemporary version or an OTT version, depending on the look that you're going for. But I see that a lot with my friends. I see it within the community, the men's community, that men have actually started to stack up their rings on the same finger. So you really see these to be some of the big trends that are really they're kind of starting from the top of the pyramid, and you will soon see it trickling down, to the base, to a lot more men actually doing this more.
I was just going to sort of chime in about diamond jewelry for men currently. I feel like black diamonds were the gateway drug to white diamonds. So, maybe 20 or 25 years ago, men started to be comfortable with black diamonds because they're cool, they're edgy, they're hip, all of that. And I think that was the first step. Now you're seeing those same people being comfortable wearing white diamonds, which are obviously much flashier, more sparkly, more lively. So that in my career, I see those black diamonds as the gateway drug.
Frank, out of interest, you of course mentioned the brooch, but what is your favorite way to wear natural diamonds?
I do love wearing this ring, and I do have such a strong relationship with David Webb, so I love owning a piece of Webb. I don't own a tremendous amount of jewelry, but I do have some very special pieces. My one brooch is diamonds, and I wear it hardly ever. It's really for black tie, but it's a beautiful gardenia by Oscar Heyman, and it's fully pavéed in diamonds. And it, to me, is the perfect sort of lapel flower for a man. It just looks perfect on a tuxedo, but I'm not comfortable wearing it during the day so much. So, and then I have a bracelet that I wear by Verdura. But like I said, I really tend to just wear one thing, besides my wedding ring. So either this ring, or maybe the bracelet, or maybe a brooch. And I do love to borrow the brooches here. So I would say that's my thing. The brooch is really my thing, because
the brooch is your thing.
Yeah, even if you're, like right now, especially post-COVID, as we're getting back to the office, people are coming back and we are putting on suits again, very few ties, very few cufflinks. It's a casual suit look, and we're wearing lots of trendy sneakers instead of, a proper hard shoe. And I think when I come to work dressed like that, like I am today, kind of casual Friday-ish, put on a brooch, and then you look smart, you look polished. So to me, it's an easy, lazy way to step up my game I found a tie very constricting with my glasses and a mask, and then the tie, which is too much. So I've kind of given up on the tie. So now I put the brooch on, and it feels like I've sort of stepped it up.
Lovely. So for my next question, I'd actually love to hear from both of you. I'd love to get both your perspectives because I know they're extremely diverse. Is there a key to choosing the right jewelry for men? What is the key to choosing the right jewelry for men both, I'd love to hear from you, Frank, from a curator and an expert perspective, and from Shivan and Narresh from, a more contemporary design perspective. Should we start with Shivan and Narresh?
I feel like when it comes to jewelry and styling, you have to, there's no right and wrong. You can't say that go bold with jewelry or go minimal with jewelry. Your jewelry has to speak for your personality type, and essentially that's what it comes down to. I think if you're a very extroverted person, when you enter a room and you like to be the center of attention, then I feel styling your jewelry in a very bold way is probably is something that you must do, because I feel jewelry commands attention, and it can make you the talk of the room. And why shouldn't you? If that's the sort of limelight you like, then you must do that. But if you're the sort of you're a silent observer, you're a more restrained personality, then to wear a nice, discreet, beautiful diamond ring it's equally powerful, or even if you wear a nice, very chic, a very delicate diamond bracelet, I think it's equally powerful than wearing a big statement ring. So to each his own. I think suiting your personality type is probably what I would say when you're styling your jewelry for a certain occasion.
I personally, when I've started just recently started picking up jewelry, and I'm picking up delicate pieces at the minute, but I've started to design pieces which are very black onyx with diamond based, and that's what I am ordering slowly. And I personally love a bold statement. I picked up this one beautiful ring in Israel, and that ring was made out of a cuffling, which was turned into a ring which was beautifully black enameled, with a disc thrower, like an Olympic disc thrower in the middle, and I absolutely love that ring. So I want to recreate that with like black diamonds and probably like gold and white diamonds. So I like to go for bolder pieces from here on, I believe.
I would say my advice to people ask me all the time, like, where do I start if they want to start collecting jewelry? And I think for a man, the key is to find one thing that you're going to wear every day, and maybe one thing that is for special occasions. Because I do love having something very special that you wear only on, for a special occasion, for a holiday or a birthday. It makes you, that's part of what jewelry is. Not everything has to be worn all the time. And then if you're looking for an everyday thing, I think it should be either a ring or a bracelet, because it's something that you can see yourself and enjoy. A necklace you don't see. A diamond ear, like a diamond stud, looks great on a man, and I actually like two on certain guys. Not for me, maybe, but for the guy with the right style, maybe a younger guy. But you don't see those either. So I think a ring is something throughout the day, you're working or whatever you're doing, you can see it and enjoy it yourself.
Lovely. Frank, I'm going to direct my next one to you. What do you believe are the qualities of an heirloom piece? Like, what is it that gives a piece of jewelry that emotional value, that makes it worthy of being passed down from one generation to the next?
It's interesting. In my business, we work with obviously vintage and estate pieces, and they all come with a story. And it's very moving sometimes to meet people when they're offering jewelry for auction that comes from the family, and they have stories around it, even down to remembering a particular time when their father wore those cufflinks or their mother wore that necklace. So I think for me, an heirloom should really have that memory. There has to be not so much a memory of the piece, but a memory of the person. That's really what creates an heirloom, in my opinion. Although value is also important, right? So when it comes to the most important stone in a collection, or the most important signature, if it's something from one of the great houses, Cartier, Van Cleef & Arpels, obviously this is going to create value, both emotionally and financially. So that really is an heirloom too, because it can be one of the more valuable pieces of an estate. But I really like to focus on the person that that wore it. Coco Chanel famously said, look for the woman in the dress, right? And if there's no woman, there's no dress. And I kind of feel the same way about the jewel. If there's not, for me, if there's not somebody, maybe not a woman, but a man, if there's not a story and a collector attached, it's not quite as exciting.
Great. And actually, Shivan and Narresh, I'd love to get your POV as well, especially from an Indian context. What do you think an heirloom makes?
As Frank said, that it's the stories that matter, like who wore it, when did they wear it, and if you can attach some pictures to it, then you feel proud about wearing that piece over and over again. That's for us heirlooms, and I believe in India we are hoarders of jewelry. So I don't see honestly many of these family heirlooms going out of the family much. It's very rare.
It's very rare.
So,
I think we're one of those countries where actually heirloom stories are really preserved and cherished and nourished and spoken of, even in our casual dining room conversations. And just to give you an example, the other day, my mother went to the bank and she came back and she gave me my dad, who's no more, and she just gave me one of his ring, and she said, this ring he actually made for his engagement, but it wasn't the official engagement ring, and I've had it all these years. Why don't you start wearing it? Because I just found it lying in the locker for so many years, and it was such a beautiful diamond ring, and it was a very nice masculine ring. So these are the kind of stories that get attached to with pieces, and they really make some unforgettable memories, and hence an unforgettable piece. Then you start to see it beyond the carat of the diamond. You start to see it beyond the design of the ring into something that's a lot more valuable, at least for the person who owns it. And like I think Frank said, that if it happens to be from one of the big jewelry houses, then it just really adds a lot more value when it changes families or it changes hands. And I think somewhere in the middle is a perfect heirloom marriage. I think the story, where it comes from, who wore it, to who's going to wear it next. And I think we're always in this quest throughout life for looking for that perfect story.
Frank, like personally speaking, do you have an heirloom that is extremely pivotal and has like great emotional value to you?
I do, yes. I have a couple of things from my grandmother. I have one piece in particular that is very meaningful. It's a gold watch pin that you wear on the lapel, and it has just the fleur-de-lis at the top and then a beautiful watch that you can open. And it was something that my grandmother received on her 16th birthday, and she had a photograph taken of herself wearing this watch, and now I have that. And I guess she would have turned 16 around 1910. So the watch is from about 1910, so over 100 years old. And this is something my sister and I actually share the piece. We kind of, every couple of years I give it back to her, and then every couple of years I take it back. I never wear it out of the house. I've never worn it anywhere except in my home. Occasionally, if I'm having a little dinner or something, I will wear it, but I've never taken it out of the house.
Frank, in the vein of this conversation, you have actually led beautifully into my next question, which is, what is it that you believe makes a piece worthy of being auctioned?
Auctionable. Well, you have to check the market. Really, what makes a great auction lot or a great auction jewel is whatever happened the previous season. So we're always looking at recent comparables to decide the value of things. The market determines the value, and that's what we have to keep up on the market so that we can advise clients about estimate ranges. Right now, colored diamonds are incredibly hot. So, if anybody has a pink or a blue diamond out there to sell, give me a call. I think, but really, yeah, I think that's what makes something auctionable is the market. And it comes in and goes. We were talking about pearls earlier. Pearls, not so much. There's not a great market for pearls at the moment. I think maybe this trend will pick them back up. So there things. The market is subject to fashion as well, and a great piece at auction is something that brings a high price, but it's also something that you can acquire at a great value. So like one of the great values I refer to all the time is diamond bracelets from the Art Deco period that are not signed. you know? So if you have a diamond bracelet from Cartier or Van Cleef from the 1920s, it will bring a huge price. But when it's unsigned, still can be beautiful quality, but they are really a great value. You can get wonderful pieces at auction value. So it depends if you're a buyer or a seller, what is a great piece, right? If you're a seller, the high price is the best thing. If you're a buyer, a great value is what makes a great piece. So we try to appeal to both.
So I think for my last question, I'd love to hear from both of you. I'd love to know what you think the future of men's jewelry looks like. Like, what are the trends that you see rising to the fore in 2022? I'd like to start first with Shivan and Narresh, and I'd love to get your POV from a very specifically Indian context.
I've mentioned it again and again. There is nothing as such, but I feel like all
very underserved market.
So I tend to be online a lot and looking for jewelry. So what I feel, and I've been noticing in all these online retailers, is that they only put a CAD drawing out there. So why are they thinking like 10 times before giving the design team, make a range for men's jewelry? Even if they have to put out CAD drawings, then might as well just do that. It's not an expense. So anyways, you're taking orders on one's confirmation. So I feel that there's a huge scope, untapped, absolutely untapped, giftables to anything and everything, from smaller diamond rings to bigger diamond rings. There is market for it all. Like,
I completely agree. I think it's also worth pointing out that even when we're designing sometimes weddings for people, one of the most common thing that after we've designed the clothes is that the clients want matching diamond buttons to their jackets, and they want matching diamond buttons to their kurtas. They want matching diamond cufflinks. And at that point in time, you as a designer, you literally do not know where to plug that demand in within the market, because there aren't that many Indian jewelers making jewelry for men. So thankfully also you're in India, so it's easy for you to make jewelry on order. So you're constantly, connecting clients to jewelers to make customized pieces, of whether it's diamond buttons, whether it's diamond cufflinks, which goes specifically for wedding season.
We've been given diamond buttons to us to be stitched to an Indian outfit, and I've been like personally assisting while they were being sewn on the garment. I was like, okay, wait, I'm gonna be there at the seamstress, making sure the job is done fine so that I can hand deliver the pieces. I got 10 buttons for 2 kurtas, and I was shit scared to like have them with me.
So that really is the appetite of Indian market, and that's why I think that it's a very underserved market at the moment. And men are ready to buy. You just have to have the heart to deliver put the product in the market, and I think that's what we really need to see from jewelers, to really go out there and treat men as an equal customer as they do with women. You have to remember the men are always more loyal than women when it comes to anything to do with fashion or to jewelry. So if a man knows where to buy his diamonds from and he buys them once and it's right, he will continue to buy all his diamonds from the same place. So in that aspect, if you convert a man once for jewelry, you have him for life. He's not going to be trying too many jewelers if you're quenching his appetite for diamonds.
Do you feel like maybe in India the interest is more geared towards the wedding market versus, say, the contemporary workwear jewelry market, or do you feel like maybe the interest is there, it's just that there is very little or no delivery?
It is true that I think culturally we tend to buy a lot of meaningful jewelry in our life during wedding times, because either the purpose is gifting to within family, or it could even be for personal, to wear it personally. It's true that weddings are one of the most core times in a life that Indian families buy diamonds for, but it is also fast and vastly changing. I think millennials have a very different way of consuming jewelry than our previous generation. I think for them, experiences matter more than products, and I think in that spirit, for them to consume easier and accessible pieces of jewelry to wear them on small occasion as experiences is more important than really just buying one piece of jewelry in 20 years and only remembering that jewelry for that. So it is fast change. It's changing pretty soon as we speak. And that's where you're also going to find diamonds now getting into everyday wear for men as well. Whether it's small necklace pendants or smaller diamond rings or bracelets. So I think they already have been a big part of watches for men. But you will see that soon changing. For millennials specifically, I think they'll really start to change the trends.
Excellent. And Frank, I'd love if you could weigh in from like a larger, more global POV about what you see in the future of men's jewelry.
I have to say, I think the future is going to be about diamond rings for men. I think, just to repeat what I said about Tiffany earlier, in this country, for certain, Tiffany has been the benchmark of jewelry for a century. And for them to now be promoting sizable diamond rings, I'm not talking about a wedding band with small stones. I'm talking about a big square 3, 4, 5 carat ring in a very chunky platinum or gold mounting. This is revolutionary, and this will, American men, I guess, maybe don't have the confidence to be bold about jewelry themselves until marketing tells them that it's okay. They need to see it on, they need to see like Brad Pitt on the red carpet with a brooch before they'll wear one. And I think for Tiffany to be promoting and marketing this will have a huge effect. So I really think it's going to be about the diamond ring.
And that is actually my last question. That is a wrap for our session. Thank you so much for joining us today, Shivan, Narresh, Frank. It has been wonderful to talk to you about jewelry and natural diamonds in today's conversation. Thank you again for being here with us.